Hi, and welcome to the session that we're going to do today on leading our lives with authenticity. So, what do I mean about leading our lives with authenticity? Well, when we are authentic to who we are, what we want, and who we want to become, that's our authenticity. And when we're clear around what our values are, how we want to show up, what the vision of our life can be for us, that's authenticity. And when these things are actually aligned to our soul purpose work, that's true authenticity because we have come into this world to have these experiences from a soul perspective. And when we are aligned to what our soul purpose is, and we design our lives around our soul purpose to reflect back the way we're going to be, the kinds of things that we're going to do, what we're going to create, then that's when we are living from a very centered, grounded, and authentic place. Now, how do you know when you're not living from this place? I work with a lot of different clients, and there's really like 3 or 4 areas that begin to show up. First of all, in our lives, we have big transitional moments, right? Like, I think the young kids call it adulting now. It's like when I'm leaving the parents' place, and now I become responsible for everything or almost everything in their lives. They call it adulting. That's a huge transition. When you become a mother or a father, that's a huge transition. Likewise, when your children are complete and they're going out on their own, that's a huge transition for you. And then finally, if you have had a career all your life and you are complete with the career, you're in another transitional phase. And in every one of those transitional phases, if you take the time to think about who do I want to be? How do I want to express myself? What kinds of work do I want to contribute in the world? And if these are aligned to your soul purpose, then you really are organizing and designing a life of fulfillment. Because when we understand our soul purpose and we're aligned to that, and when we understand what things bring us happiness, what things bring us a sense of excitement, and what things bring us a sense of contribution, when we know that about ourselves and we design our life to support that, it can only lead us to living a more fulfilling life. The other things that come or sort of sometimes get stuck in our ability to be authentic is when life happens. And what I mean by that is that if you've been around long enough, you know that the best laid plans sometimes go sideways. And what you thought was going to happen doesn't happen. So when your best laid plans begin to go sideways, this is an opportunity for you to say, all right, these plans aren't coming in. What might spirit be asking me to do? What might I'm being called for something else? And if we can pause and reflect on what's going on and what we might be called forward to, then we can very quickly realign things in our lives so that we are again operating from a sense of purpose with vision and with the qualities that we get to bring our whole sense and self forward. That's what I mean by an authentic lifestyle. And living in authenticity, when we are connected to what our soul's purpose is, and then we are playing that out along with what we want at the physical level. That's where the biggest joy comes from, the greatest sense of accomplishment comes from. That's where we go for our biggest dreams. So if you are living in a place where you're feeling stuck, where you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling like you're just going through life, and maybe you're even feeling like your energy is drained, I would say all of those things are associated with you being disconnected from maybe your purpose or what your soul came in here to do. So it's a great time not to beat yourself up, but to take a step back and say to yourself, oh, how can I use this time to create the life that I really want? How can I use the fact that something that I had planned on is not coming through as a way for me to say, am I really meant to be doing that? Or am I meant to be doing something else? And this is the universe's way of giving me an opportunity to pause and refocus my attention. I'm bringing this forward because just over the last few days, I was working with several clients that were all in the same situation. Now, it showed up differently in each person's life. One person I talked to, she was having trouble finding a job. And she's like, I am more than qualified for the kinds of jobs I'm applying for, but I'm not even getting calls back. And I said, when we keep hitting up against a wall, it's the universe's way to say what needs to take place right now. So as we explored this, what we understood was her health was her number one priority. And the kinds of jobs she was going for would have put her health on the back seat again. Now, will that always be true? Probably not. When her health recovers and she feels really great, it's an opportunity for her to shift again. And so then the work will flow in. Sometimes when you're in work and you're not enjoying what you're doing, or you're feeling stuck, or you just like something's not quite right, you can use that as an indicator, like, oh, what am I being asked to change up here? What am I not contributing with? What else can I bring forward around myself so that I can shift and really create something that speaks to me and will also make a contribution? So those are ways in which we find, or it demonstrates to us that in this moment we could be out of authenticity. I had an experience a few months ago where I had put together this program. It was dynamite. I was excited to deliver it, but I could not get anyone to bite, which is highly unusual. I don't usually have trouble filling up programs. So I tried a couple of different ways and nothing was really happening. And we hired some experts and nothing was really happening. And one day I thought, okay, so I'm here bumping my head against the wall. Why might that be? And when I went in to meditate around it, I started to get all these other images of what this time was for me. And when I listened, I realized, oh, that's just doing something that I've done for the last 4 or 5 years. And I'm being called to step in and step out in a different way now. So once I let go of the need to run that program, and I started to ask the more important questions, which is, at this point in my life, what am I being asked to do? How am I being asked to serve? How am I being asked to show up? All of these things began to open up, and support and resources came forward to help me make these next steps. So when we listen, what we're really listening to is our soul, is the creator, is our spirit guides, trying to give us the messages of where and what our next contribution could look like. So for those of you that are feeling a little stuck, feeling even a little dulled out in the work that you're doing right now, what I would suggest to you is taking a pause and thinking about what next things can you step into? What next things can you stretch yourself around? What bigger contribution can you make? How can you show up in a different way to maybe support or influence more and more people? That is the answer to getting out of an unstuck place or a misaligned place and getting yourself back into living a more authentic life that supports you and supports others. So I hope this was helpful for you today. I'm excited about those that are asking questions about living in an authentic life and living and opening to what is possible. Because if the universe is presenting it, what they know for sure is that you can do it. And a lot of times our minds are telling us, oh no, oh, this is too scary. Oh, just continue to do the same thing you've done because that's what you know. I will just leave you with this around authentic lives. Why is it important to live in your authenticity? It's important because it brings you more joy and satisfaction. You will feel more grounded and expanded. You get to live out the soul's purpose, why it came here and what it came here for. So all of that is big benefits to you. Why else it is important is that we're on these long journeys and we're meant to change, evolve, grow, stretch ourselves. And by stepping in, asking the questions of what is going to shift you, helps you to stretch yourself. So for those two reasons, go deep within yourself and ask yourself, is it time to make a change? Are there other things that I need to be doing, I can be doing, I desire to do? And if so, reimagine your life so you get to do those. Okay, everyone, it's been a pleasure, and I am so happy to be able to connect with you